second episode of 2019, and there's so much to talk about. My co-host, of course, Sabrina Mentanani, and we'll give it up for our guest tonight from the Republican Party of Guam. He's the man, Mr. Jerry Crisostomo, former Democratic Senator Nerissa Underwood, and former Republican Senator Frank Blas Jr. Let's just jump right into this Uncle Carl story that we did. I mean, Uncle Carl Gutierrez. I'm pretty sure you know which Uncle Carl, the true Magalahi. And I really feel like, looking at what's gone on the past couple months, that Uncle Carl might be the winner of the election. I mean, if you look at some of the appointees and definitely the responsibilities that he was able to pull from Governor Lulian Guerrero, a special assistant. I've never heard of this. You guys probably have way more experience than me, so correct me if I'm wrong, but a special assistant who has his own staff, who has his own budget, and will soon have his own office outside of Adelup that he told me he's going to be paying $3,000 in rent for. Have you guys ever seen any this level of a special assistant? I mean, you know, if there's somebody who's going to blaze that trail, it's going to be Carl Gutierrez.
Well, I've not seen anything like it. I've worked under the Ad administration years ago, and we've not had anything like that. But, you know, I believe Governor Lou may be taking advantage of Carl Gutierrez's experience, his vast
So Lou is the one who's taking advantage. Carl's not taking advantage.
Well, obviously he reports to her, right?
Yeah.
So he may be taking advantage of that expertise.
Yeah.
But,
Well,
oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
well, it does raise eyebrows because, you know, I think what Governor Gutierrez is describing as what his primary responsibilities will be kind of overlaps with Gita's responsibilities. So the question is, at what point are they going to intersect? Are they going to work together? Because he's talking about bringing in investors. And I thought that was primarily the job of the Guam Economic Development Agency.
Right. So he showed me a flow chart, which I don't know if that made it in the story, but there was a flow chart, and it was Governor Lulian Guerrero, Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio, Gita, and then Carl Gutierrez. So according to his flow chart, he's right under the governor, lieutenant governor, equal with Gita. So he did mention that he's working with Gita. I don't know if he stopped short of saying that he's running Gita, but I mean, you're right. There is a lot of duplication there, and I mean, he's been basically deputized. You know, I don't know if you want to be giving Uncle Carl that much power this early, Senator.
Well, you know, it's early on, and there are special assistants. Special assistant roles, a lot of times, is to oversee functions of various departments.
Right.
And in his role, he's probably looking at you know, bolstering that up a little bit more. Does he need extra office space? That's yet to be seen. I personally think that they probably could have used that money a little bit more effectively in other areas. You know, now is he going to have to travel?
He did mention he's going to be going to D.C.
Well, and I tell you, that costs a pretty penny today.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And isn't there space elsewhere, even in Gita? If you think that you're going to be working closely with Gita, you probably want to be in a space within or next to Gita.
Or he should probably be appointed as the Gita administrator.
Yeah.
You know, it's not any different than Paul Calvo, when he became governor. He appointed former Governor Manny F.L. Guerrero as the airport director.
Right.
Well, former governor, actually, back then.
Wow.
You know, before our time.
Yeah.
So it's not.
Yeah, but it probably wouldn't be a problem. There are measurable objectives that we can justify the expenditures for, right?
Right.
So he's also going to Washington, D.C., but in Washington, D.C., you already have Madeleine Bordalian, you have Mike St. Nicholas. And so I did read that part of his responsibility would be to connect with the federal agencies. And so where do these three coordinate? So it seems like a replication of work that other people are already doing.
And what do you think of the fact that here's a guy, I mean, and objectively speaking, I don't want to dismiss the fact that he has a lot to offer. You know, I mean, when it comes to experience, I don't know if there's any other living politician on Guam who has, well, I couldn't think of your husband as probably one, who has as much experience, good or bad. I mean, you know, I guess that's the takeaway, good or bad, if you agree or disagree. than he has. But at the end of the day, haven't people proven time and time again, election after election, that they don't want Carl Gutierrez running the government? And do you think that this is, I mean, is this a slap in the face of them, or?
I don't think it's a slap in the face. I think initially, you know, it was smart on Lulu Yongiro, Governor Lulu Yongiro, to tap into a number of resources. Was this some political payback, for lack of a better term?
Right.
Yes. Let's all be honest. Let's put it out there.
Yep.
But he has, you know, he does have some skills and the know-how to be able to talk to individuals and to see if he can encourage it. I would like to give them the opportunity to be able to do this. Does it sound, you know, different? Well, yeah, we came from basically 16 years of Republicans that didn't exist. Maybe this can help. Hopefully it does, and I'm speaking in behalf of everybody that would benefit for the good things.
Right.
If not, we can armchair quarterback this and say, we told you so.
Yeah.
Oh, we're just getting started.
Yeah.
We're going to have to take a break, so stay tuned. Yeah, already.
Man.
The after party
Halfway through.
continues after the break.
One. All right. Come on. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on. Let's go.
Smiling is a natural response to joy, happiness, and excitement. Your smile reveals a lot about who you are. A healthy, beautiful smile can brighten your appearance and be an invitation to conversation and friendship. It is often one of the first things people notice about you. Now, thanks to the advancements in dentistry, you can have the smile you have always wanted, giving you an improved smile that looks and feels great.
My silver fillings that I have, they're getting older in my mouth and I need to replace them. So I've started to do that and I've replaced them with the white fillings and I've had really great success with that. It looks good, they feel natural, and it kind of goes hand in hand with the bleaching. I want a white look all around my mouth.
Oh my God, Becky, look at that crust!
At Pizza Hut, we're the ultimate cheesy crust, with 16 pockets overflowing with melted cheese.
And welcome back. Just in closing on Carl Gutierrez, you know, after the interview, he said, "Hey, Chris, you know, no names, but people in the media have pushed this narrative that I'm crooked," and he said that he's older and he kind of wants to walk away with a different kind of legacy. So just for what it's worth, I just want to let you guys know that that was what Carl Gutierrez said to me, and he's looking for like a new reputation, and I don't know if you guys think he'll be able to find that in this administration.
Well, he did say in that interview, I think to you, that he's going to do such an outstanding job for Lou and Josh that nobody's going to want to run against them.
Do you really think he's not going to run?
Who?
I don't know.
Carl?
Yeah, again.
Well,
it's going to be up to his supporters.
Right.
Yeah. And he does look, you know, a lot
He looked
to his
sharp in that
supporters.
interview. I mean, in a lot of ways, and I said this with a lot of people, and they agreed. He came off more articulate than Governor Leon Guerrero has in her first couple months. And I'm not sure if that, you know, it's a different situation he's in. He's not the governor, you know, he's not responsible for everything and anything. And maybe this is a position with a little less responsibility, but all of the trappings of the power. He's got his staff, he's got his budget, he can go to D.C. So maybe it's the right spot for him. I don't know. War claims.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking
let's
of
get to the
D.C., war
thing.
claims.
Right.
What a shocker to have heard about, you know, the problems and the funding with war claims and all the, you know, survivors were expecting, you know, this would be the year that they'd finally get reparations and their checks, but all of a sudden...
It was very unfortunate because Treasury, according to Treasury, they knew since May.
Right.
May of last year, and of course that was an election year, and you know we didn't hear about it until
this year.
I'm surprised the Republicans didn't hear about it. Right. You know,
given that there's a Republican administration in the White House.
Yeah, but it was Madeline's bill, and you know, and she carried the ball there, but obviously dropped it. And now you have 3 different avenues that this thing is going to go through. Whether you have the administrative route, which Governor Liu is trying to take, and you got Congressman Nicholas that's going through corrective measure, and then you've got John Witt who made that recommendation, a shorter route. So I think they need to get together and come up with one route to get this
I feel like it's
done.
almost like a political foot race, like which route is going to win in the end, and you know. So with the John Witt thing, and Senator, maybe you can comment on this. The fix, and I think, you know, it took us a while to get over the fact that former Congresswoman Berdallo knew about this, that her chief of staff knew about it. Now, who else knew about it in that small office is up to you. You know, everyone was pretty much like, oh, it's the one time Chamorros didn't know. I mean, what do we say? We always say, I know. And then when it comes to war claims, like, oh, nobody knows.
Yeah.
So we got past the nobody knew, and then there was an appropriations fix, but I don't think people were really thinking about how long it would take, and they kind of realized that, okay, Madeline messed up. But in talking with John Witt, appropriations route, we're looking at, you know, anywhere from 9 months to over a year before that even gets to the appropriations of people. So I'd interviewed John Witt, who was a former staffer for Underwood and Berdallo, and he said, hey, there's this quick way. They suspend the rules. It's for corrective measures. It really seems like you know, an easy way out, less than a month maybe in some cases. But we haven't heard from the congressman on that. He said that he was in contact with the congressman's staff, and they seem to agree that, hey, this is a good idea. But it's going to mean that he has to introduce another measure. And, you know, I mean, Lord knows he's had enough problems with opening the district office. I'm not sure politically if that's something he wants to do.
But I think this is where it's really critical for him to be communicating with his constituents, especially those who are expecting the checks. At this point, every step that you take, every letter that you write, every meeting that you hold really should be communicated with those who are expecting the checks, because right now we're not hearing anything. So once again, hopes were raised high, they've been disappointed, and then once again they're saying, okay, so what does this mean? And I think what's really lacking right now is that communication.
Right. Totally
and that
agree.
could be done once a week. Here's the status. We've already submitted the bill, but we may need to make corrections and so on and so forth. And doing it through Facebook just has shortfalls. Not everyone goes to Facebook.
But he seems hell-bent and very stubborn on this whole... I mean, we made the joke the other day he should change his middle initials to Michael F.B. St. Nicholas. Because he's kind of like the Facebook congressman. But
it's a little bit close to my house. No.
Right. But Senator, I mean, imagine how good the congressman would look if he did write a letter to each of these applicants with his logo on there. Hey, we found a solution. Hey, we're working on it. Instead of this almost, I mean, it really is just a stubborn approach to like, hey, I know you guys are my constituents, but you come to me, you go get a... And he said in his Facebook Live address, he said, hey, anybody who's watching who knows somebody who doesn't have a Facebook, go tell them, like, now we're doing your job.
Right.
Yeah.
Or call,
but
he
it's
has a
not
hotline
even,
number.
Yeah.
What if they don't even have a computer? They don't have access.
And
I
a
know
lot of them
everyone
don't
has,
have the computer.
Yeah, because these are our elders, and they, So I'm just disappointed all around, even though I didn't apply for it. Of
Right.
course,
You're not that old.
But the point being that even if we make a mistake as leaders, if we communicate and we just say, look, you know, we've fallen short, but here are the steps. I'm going to keep you updated and keep the dialogue going. Then people will just feel like, okay, we're being respected. But right now, I feel like they're just, again, being ignored. Maybe they're communicating with them through phone individually. I don't know.
Well, we haven't heard anything. And I think this is a drop ball on the part of Congressman St. Nicholas because, you know, I mean, a simple gesture. And I almost feel now that his constituents are like, hey, you don't want to open a district office, you don't want to deal with us, fine, we'll just wait for
But
the
the
office
ball
to
is
open.
actually in his court now.
It is.
You can't go back to Madeline.
Yeah.
He's the congressman. But I think he should take advantage of John Witt's experience in the House, because this is not the Guam legislature we're dealing with. This is the U.S. House of Representatives. There's a lot of complex, and you're talking about a lot of negotiations. And John Witt has been there with Robert Underwood. Has been there with Madam Berdalio. He knows the workings.
He
of
can
Congress.
provide the mentoring that Nicholas desperately needs.
Right.
Did that answer all of your questions for right now?
Yeah.
I feel like you're itching to say something.
I know.
Sarah.
Yeah, you're the the president.
Drop the personalities. Drop all the drama playing and whatnot. Recognize that these are individuals that on a daily basis, we're losing them. Okay, and I think that if you put that mindset in your mind of the urgency of this, okay, whether it comes from John Witt or from Madeline Berdalio or Carl Gutierrez or somebody else or Frank Blas, look, at the end of the day, it's for the people. And let's take a serious look. I have to agree with John Witt. That is a very viable and a much shorter time frame for the monies to be dispersed. It's there.
Yeah.
The Treasury has reported there's at least $6.3 million that are there. While it may not pay for everybody's claims at this point in time, these can start to come out.
And that's a big win for St. Nicholas. I mean, you get a picture with those Manamco with those checks.
I mean, in that first 6 months of his term, that would be a coup.
Yeah. We got to take a break. We'll be back with more of the after party next.
You can make each connection count with IT&E Prepaid. Talk, text, and share with the best price daily plans and rates. Stay in touch with loved ones, whether they're in Tumon, Garapan, San Jose, or even San Paulo, on the widest network in the Marianas. And reach out to friends and followers all over the world with the fastest, most reliable 4G LTE data. IT&E, explore your world.
Don't start till you get here. It don't feel right unless you're near it. I wanna be where you are. So I kiss your tail of a shooting star. 'Cause you make the moment. Oh, you make the moment.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
We are the Half Day Pledge Kids. What's the Half Day Pledge?
It's a promise to share
a Half Day spirit
and to protect our culture.
Like saying Happy Day. Home down.
It also means promising to keep our island clean. Like cleaning up the beach? That sounds so easy. It is. Anyone can sign up, even kids just like us.
How do kids sign up? It's easy. Moms and dads call the Guam Visitors Bureau and sign your kid up to take the pledge.
All kids get certificates, bags, and can enjoy cultural activities at the signing ceremony.
We are Half a Day Pledge kids, and you can be too.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Oh my God, Becky, look at that crust!
At Pizza Hut, we're the ultimate cheesy crust, with 16 pockets overflowing with melted cheese.
The Ram 1500. Unrelenting capability, groundbreaking style, uncompromising luxury. 2019 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Right now during Ram Truck Month at Cars Plus and Mighty. Save up to $10,500 on new Ram 1500 Crew Cab. Or the new 2019 Ram 1500 Regular Cab. Only $208 per paycheck. Financing as low as 1.99% is available for those who qualify. Come see for yourself. It's Ram Truck Month at Cars Plus and Mighty. Cars Plus, driven by you.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's, offers fully covered loading and unloading area with individual pin-coded gate and door access. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
All right, we have only a few minutes left, and I know you guys are here to see what our panelists have to say. So just down the line real quick, what do you think of the Leon Guerrero Tenorio's administration's first couple months?
Well, it's only been about less than 2 months, right? So I give them a C. I'm still waiting for that change. You know, they campaign on change. I've not seen the change, but again, it's only been 60 days, less than 60 days. But what we've seen is I think, more expansive government as opposed to reining in spending and restraint. You can tell by the hirings and all of that, but we'll see. I mean, it's the 100 days hasn't hit yet, but I give them a C.
Very nice.
Yeah, I would give them a C too, but C for communication, because I think there's been a lot of walking back, conflicting messages that had occurred, especially relative to Guam Tranquilidad.
Right.
And it was like, wow, that was just a mess. And
yeah, it was
created a lot of anxiety.
To blame the media was the real mess. I felt that. I felt the governor really misstepped when she had blamed the media for causing anxiety, and it was really, at the end of the day, it was something her director said, and I felt like more of the ire should have been directed towards him. And then we also had the situation with the Guard, where you had the governor's chief advisor on military affairs come out and say one thing, and then the governor totally contradicted her. And when I interviewed former Governor Gutierrez, he too said that, wow, it seems like this administration is trying to get all the bad news out of the way first. Frank?
Well, you know, I, for one, I wouldn't be able to give them a grade right now. First, they have to come to class. And I say that, you know, while, you know, it may be sarcastic in a little bit, but yeah, there are a number of missteps, a number of steps that should not have occurred. And there are a number of promises that should not have been made. Case in one, you know, one of them is the pool's still closed. I think the director said he'll have that up and running in 2 weeks. That was in January. Okay, so it goes back to, yes, the communication, how to communicate. Okay? Don't overpromise. Just do your best. I think people, so long as they see that you're doing the best that you can with what you got, okay, how long it takes is no longer a factor. But if you tell them you're going to do this in time specific and it's not there, then it becomes an issue. Then when you have, as is mentioned before, when you have conflicting, statements, people get confused as to, okay, which direction are we going to be going to? So I want to, for the benefit of the doubt, I don't want to give them a grade right now. I just, get your feet sweat now.
Do your homework first.
Let's move.
Right.
Right.
All right.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us.
That's it. We need another half hour.
This is be an hour show. But thank you guys for joining us, and best of luck to the new administration. We're all hoping that they do well, because when they do well, we all are happier.
Oh, when they do well, we got nothing to cover, so I don't know if that's
come on. That's the after party. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Bye.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E. Explore your world.